Hello, and welcome to this exciting talk where we will explore how a distribution and retail company had a successful migration with one of our gold partners. My name is Yosiad Jim Bernard, Head of Product Communications, and I'm excited to facilitate this roundtable. I am joined with Sodexis and MMCI Holdings. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Welcome to this talk. Stefan, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Sodexis.
Yes, thank you, Yossi. Well, first of all, I'd like to say how excited I am to be here again. I think it's the 9th year that I participate in the Odoo experience, and it's always, so exciting to see all the improvement that have been made to Odoo year over year. So I started the company back in 2006, and we have always worked with open source software. And we became a partner with Odoo in 2012. And at this point, we have about 40 employees, and we really have all the roles that you need to have a successful implementation. So we have business analysts, as well as developer, as well as system admins, okay? And so we have helped, in the past, a company that are very small, and then we do it all for them. But also, we have worked with very large companies that have their own IT department, and then we just provide the missing information. We mainly help manufacturing and distribution company to improve their efficiency by implementing Odoo ERP solution with the highest return on investment. Really, our primary goal is always to help our customer go through the implementation successfully.
Wow. Well, it's always great to have you here, Stefan. You are truly a great friend. And can you please take this opportunity to introduce Gedas to everybody?
Yes, absolutely. It's my pleasure to introduce Gedas Goodenes, who is currently the CEO of MMCI Holdings. So here's Gedas.
Hi, Gedas. Welcome again to this exciting talk. Can you please tell us a little bit more about MMCI Holdings and a little bit more background?
Yes, good to be here. MMCI Holdings, we trace back our beginnings to 1898, so over 130 years in distribution and retail business. We are based out of St. Louis, right in the middle of the United States. We have 4 companies in our group of companies. The original company still in existence is called Matthews Medical Books. It is a wholesaler of medical books to education market. In early 1970s, we started 2 new companies. One was the Matthews Retail, which runs brick and mortar retail stores across nationwide and online e-commerce platforms for mainly for medical and nursing students. The other company is called McCoy Health Science Supply. It's a distributor of medical equipment and supplies into non-hospital and more education type market. And our latest company we acquired in 2011 called International Wholesale Supply. They do distribution and merchandising into convenience stores, grocery, and travel center markets. We operate out of 80,000 square feet facility in St. Louis. So for Europeans, it's about 7,500 square meters, a little bigger than the European football field. We have in stock, we usually have about 20,000 SKUs in the warehouse at any time. In our system, we can supply about 500,000 SKUs between all the companies. And we're not a big company. It's a good size. We have under 200 employees at any time. So it's a good, nice, complex, but small business.
Yeah, but it's pretty, it sounds very sophisticated. You have the umbrella with MMCI Holdings, and then you have your distribution, textbook, medical distribution, like I said earlier, retail, online. So there's a lot of complexity when it comes to ensuring that the businesses are running smoothly. Can you tell us a little bit about how you met Stefan and Sodexis, and tell us how that whole relationship started?
Right, so we were looking to upgrade our legacy ERP system. We were still running on a mainframe type system back in early 2000s. So we started looking at different solutions that were out there. And for our size and our complexity, it's hard to find one because we have almost like a Fortune 500 company complexity of all the intercompany transactions. And but it's a small business, so we really had to find the right fit. So that's when we came across another open source product at the time. And that's when we met in 2000, I believe, 5. We met Stefan. and we did an initial implementation then. And 15 years later, we're ready to upgrade our system again, take us to the next 20 years. So that's when we're back here on Odoo.
That's wonderful. Stefan, tell us a little bit about how this synergy happened and what that journey has been like in the last 15 years.
Yes, to say the least, that has been an amazing journey, okay, and to partner with MMCI Holdings. Geda said, we connected back in 2005, beginning of 2006, and I just had started the company, and we had decided to, start representing that other open source software, and so we started talking. Eventually, I went to St. Louis, and we did an on-site analysis, trying to figure out what is it that they wanted us to do. Turns out that the main pain point was with account payable. Okay, and so because we brought all the companies, all the account payable under one umbrella, such that it would be much easier for them to manage. And, we have had that relationship ever since. We have given them support for the last 15 years. And then, as Gedas mentioned, now, they were looking to upgrade, all over their system, because they had many different systems for all, the different companies. And they were trying to find a centralized system, all integrated.
So it sounds like your business has a lot of complexity. You talked to us about multi-company, over tens of thousands of SKUs. What were those exact challenges that you faced that propelled you to seek out Stefan's help with Odoo?
Right. One of our challenges is all this complexity between the companies and intercompany transactions. So it has to be a mature ERP system that can handle all of that and automate it in a background. So that was important for us, and that's why we actually partnered with Sodexis. He knew our business a little bit, but also provided the expertise behind how to do it all and what cause and effect that happens when you do all those things. It's been a long road, but the partners bring a lot of experience and a lot of other things. And while we were able to concentrate on our own internal issues and our own internal data, they were able to extend Odoo to help us migrate. So as you mentioned, they do the migration. So, one of the things they did was all the importing of data and allowing us to import all these millions of transactions and all these products in a way that we can do it weekly and test it weekly. So that was really a good addition for us, and that was one of the main challenges we had to overcome.
All right, so let's break this down a little bit. Now, we've identified the main challenges that you have with the complexity and the sophisticated needs of your company. Naturally, partners do bring tremendous value. What, besides the importation of data from the old system to Odoo, what else was Sodexis doing to help with this transition?
Well, it is, they knew the system, so that was really good. Also, they brought in some of the apps that they extended, the credit application app. Also, they had the EDI platform that was very important for us. 90% of all our sales orders and invoice are processed electronically. We are integrated with our customers. It has to flow. There's very little human interaction perspective. So that was really good. And all the other things. And, a lot of times it's good to have a partner that says no and questions what you're doing. So this way it helps you steer in the right direction and not over-engineer and not overbuild the system. And, so that was good as well.
And you have an IT background too, so I'm sure there was a lot of collaboration between the both of you on how to get this done effectively. I would assume, Stefan, that you would agree. Stefan, can you also tell us a little bit about what Sodexis did primarily in this implementation, and what some of the, perhaps anything custom that you were able to create? I'd like to know a little bit more about what Sodexis did to help with this transition?
Yes, certainly. So, well, I can go over the topics that Geddas already mentioned. So, for example, the intercompany transaction, we already had some experience with that. We have other customers that have multi-companies environments. So we're familiar with the intercompany system that Odoo already has out of the box. But for MMCI Holding, that was not enough because we really need to automate the process, okay? Because one of their company, for example, ask every time the other company to drop ship for them, okay? And so every time, you create a sales order in that first company, you need to have all the document created automatically in the other company, okay? And so we really automated the whole process. We even went to the automation of the return management, where basically you can just click on one single button and then it creates all the documents that you need for the return in both companies. Okay, I think it's like 6 to 8 documents. Okay, that needs to be created and validated, and so it's really a big automation there. The other topic was the import of large amount of data, like Geddas mentioned. There's a lot of data. There was a lot of data to import. And it became very quickly evident that the usual method we were using, like using Talent, for example, an ETL tool, were not going to be good enough. Okay, we needed to be able to import often and regularly. Okay, to test the import. Okay, to make sure that everything is imported correctly. So we designed an app within Odoo to do that. Okay. And so we just first import the data just as simple fields in an Odoo table, and then we wrote the code within Odoo to directly import all the data in the database directly, okay, with very large SQL, queries, with the advantage that this can be very fast to the point where now we're able, for example, every week to reset the whole system and redo the whole import, okay? And so every week we can fine tune it, tweak it, and then make sure that, the system works, that we're importing the data correctly such that, once they go into production, then they can start using it, okay? So, and of course, that's crucial. I think, Geddas also mentioned the EDI app. We have our own EDI app that enables us to basically import XML document into any document in Odoo, and also export any document inside of Odoo to an XML document. And we're doing it in Odoo. Okay, so we import the XML document via FTP or via the API. You just set up the XML document, and then all what we need to do at this point is create a translation table that explain all the element, each of the element in the XML document will be transformed into a field inside of Odoo. Okay, and so at this point we can even have the best part. Okay, we don't need the help of the technical team. We can just set those up. A normal user can set those up and basically import or export any XML document. And of course, I think, Geddas also mentioned a couple of other, like the credit management, where we basically have hundreds of those apps internally that we have developed over the years, over the last 9 years. And, basically we make all those apps available to our customers, okay? At no cost, I should add, okay?
Wow. So, I mean, this is pretty remarkable.
This is part, that's right. This is part, we consider, this is basically our approach to open source, okay? Because we can then spread the cost of those apps over all of our customers. And for example, for migration, then, maybe a customer that didn't participate in the cost of developing the app will participate in the cost of migrating the app, okay? And so it's our own little, ecosystem, okay?
Okay. Yeah, it's remarkable. And what also is interesting as well is that Geddas, even though you have a long-standing relationship, Geddas went to Odoo Connect and learned about Odoo and its agility and all of its features in a more personalized way, which means that if he's using Odoo now, the implementation had to have happened in 2020. Is that right, Geddas?
Right, yes, that is correct. We went live November 23rd, 2020, and right in the middle of the thick of the pandemic. And
Wow.
really proud of the team and all the employees. And we pulled it off somehow. It wasn't easy, but it was very exciting. And now the accounting team loves it, which is very surprising. I thought the customer service, the sales team will love the system, but accounting people are, employees really taking on it. It's working out really well. So very happy.
It's like I always say, if you get the accountants on board and the finance people on board, everything will fall into place. Can you give us some best practices or some tips on those folks who are considering migrating to Odoo and considering Odoo as a all-in-one solution?
Yes, it's very easy to give advice, and I wish I could follow my own advice. So the first is you have to trust the system and not over-engineer and not try to fit your processes. Once you get that, just talk to your partner and let them explain how it does it and adjust some tweaks. And and the most important is getting your data in correctly from beginning, because it's very, very hard to fix. And I mean, we got a couple of things off, and it just very time consuming to fix something. So check your data and keep checking, and then when you feel the data is ready, pull the plug, and it'll be painful, but you can do it. If we did it during COVID, the remote and everything, it's doable. So
I think you bring up a really interesting point, is that there are many complexities with any migration at the best of times. And the fact that you were able to accomplish this during COVID is truly a testament to working well with Sodexis, as well as having a solution that truly met your needs. I know that we can go on and on and on about each of these various complexities, challenges. Unfortunately, the time does not allow for us to go in further depth. However, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you both for being here today to briefly discuss the challenges of migrating such a sophisticated umbrella of companies and having a gold partner like Sodexis to hold your hand and take you to the finish line. Thank you so much, Stefan, for being here once again with us and sharing this space with our community. And thanks again, Geddes, for sharing your experience with Sodexis and with Odoo. I'd like to take this opportunity to also open the floor up to questions. If you have any questions to Stefan or to Geddes, I invite you to ask them right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yossi, and thank you for the question, and thank you to everybody for joining the talk. So that's a very good question. We really enjoy being a gold partner. It really gives us a close relationship with Odoo. And I think it's also due to the fact that we've been with Odoo for quite some times now. Okay, we started back in 2012, so it's basically 9 years at this point. As I was saying during the talk, I've been going to the Odoo experience for that long. And so certainly, people at Odoo knows who we are, and so with the close relationship, that enables us, for example, to submit bugs and things like that. And people can recognize that when we do so, it means it's a serious matter. And I would say also, definitely, it's the exposure. Obviously, people that contact us, they know we are gold partners, so they know that at least in general we know what we're doing, and so that really help us with that process. Okay.
It was the last one of the whole. No, I think in Ecuador. That was the last one. Yeah. See you. Yeah.
Yes, so you saying that, what are the tips to going live during the pandemic? So this was definitely challenging, more than usual. I mean, going live is always somewhat of a challenge, and I sort of always guarantee to the customer that it will be quite chaotic. But the great advantage, is that we will be there to help. Okay, and so at the beginning we might, add fix to the system even overnight, for example. Okay,
Great.
and so yes, it will be chaotic, but we'll be there. And during the pandemic, the most challenging part, I think, it was to do really the transition from working from an office to working remotely. Okay, that forced us to put better processes in place and make sure that we had good communication. Okay. Of course, we already had, our team in India that, is already remote. So we had already a lot of experience with communicating properly between the different part of the team. But we really had to put that to the extreme. And I'm sure there was a lot of other companies in the same case, of course. And so at the end, I think, as Gedas mentioned during the talk, if I remember correctly, he was very happy with the way it went through. But certainly at the time it happened, it was quite challenging. Okay.
Of course, I'm sure. That's great tips. I have another question here from Raul. How do you, as a partner, manage expectations in terms of the ratio between Odoo standard out-of-the-box product and the custom code that you have to create? I know that you created a special application for the migration of data, the EDI platform. So, how do you balance the ratio between the two?
Right. So how do we manage the balance between the Odoo base features and doing customization? Okay.
Yeah.
It's in fact a very important question. Right? And what we're very keen about is to always look at what is the return on investment for the customer. Right. And it happens often actually that we push back. Okay. For what the customer wants to do. Okay, so we'll question, why do you need this? Why do you want that? Okay, is there really a good return on investment for you? Okay, once that is established, then it becomes easy. Okay, if it's not in Odoo and they need it, then of course, we need to do a customization, and we are really well equipped to do customization. We have about 30 developers on staff. Okay, and so we really have customized every aspect, of Odoo that you can think of. Okay, and we really know the code very well, and so we can also estimate, what will be the cost and how much time it would take, and things like that. And then, do the customization. We put it in the test system. We queue it internally. We'll let the customer queue it, and then finally, once it has been approved by everybody, then we can push it to to the production system. Another aspect of this question, I think, is also that we will also so not only push back sometimes, but also try to encourage the customer to modify their workflow to fit to the way Odoo is doing it. Okay, and sometimes that works very well too. Okay, and the customer is very happy and simplify things. It's also, as Fabien was mentioning in his talks, this morning, there's a cost associated with doing customization, okay? And we shouldn't hide that, and we don't hide that. We always talk about that with the customer. We actually have, and I think I mentioned it during the talk as well, we have at this point migration packages that we offer. So once we're done with the customization and the customer is in production, we can evaluate the amount of work that it would take to do migration to a new version. And we offer that also, as a subscription module. So the customer pays a monthly fee and then we migrate them. We actually offer to migrate every 2 years because we think it's a little bit too disruptive to do it every year.
Right.
And I think every 2 years really works well for our customers.
All right. Stefan, unfortunately, we are out of time today. Thank you for those who participated in the chat. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.
I'll see you next time. And